Hello everybody, Killer Winston here, and today I will be doing What If My Hero Academia Was a Game Part 2. So, in the last part, Deku and Bakugo just bought a game called My Hero Academia, them having to play the game and experience it. But whenever it is time to log out of the game and eat dinner, as well as do homework, they would have realized that the logout button is not there. Now, continuing the story, whenever both Deku and Bakugo realize that they are basically trapped in this game, that was when they would have been consumed by light, and whenever the light disappeared, they would have realized that they are at the center of the town, with both Deku and Bakugo looking around and seeing more and more players being teleported here. Everyone there being confused, as whenever everyone arrived, multiple screens would have appeared in the sky surrounding everyone. It showing a man in a suit, or well, a tuxedo. The man saying, "Good afternoon, my fellow players. Welcome to My Hero Academia. I am the creator of this game, and some of you might already notice this, but for those that didn't, the logout button in your menu is missing. You may think that this is a bug. However, you are wrong. This is an intended feature of this game. Just as the cover said, experience this fantasy world like it is real, because it is." Everyone hearing that, this man is basically telling them that they're trapped in this game. Some of them would start to panic. Others would have checked the menu to see if the logout button is actually gone, which it is, them having to start panicking as well. While everyone is panicking, the man would have continued saying, "Also, if you were wondering, there is not a single way for you to leave this game. But if you did somehow leave this game, you won't even have a body to go back to. Because the moment you start playing this game, the device you use to enter this game has already killed your body. As for your consciousness, it has been transformed into data and transferred into this server. Also, I would like to advise you not to get killed, because not only will you feel the pain of being killed, you, along with your data and consciousness, would be erased from this server. Meaning, if you die in this game, then you will cease to exist." Everyone hearing that if they die in this game, they will cease to exist, they would panic even more, since some of them did just get some of their friends killed, and are waiting for them to respawn, which never happened. Others would start to cry and scream. But in the midst of the chaos, a man would have yelled, "Why are you doing this? We don't deserve this. We just want to play a game." Some people hearing this man yell that, they would also yell the same question, as the man in the screen would say, "Some of you may ask why we are doing this. However, that is none of your business." Still, as the creator of this game, I would like to thank all of you players for buying this game. And as thanks, here are some gifts that will hopefully make you feel more at home. Just then, every single player there would have received 2 items. The first item being a piece of paper named the Name Changer, which, just as the name suggests, it will allow you to change your name. As for the second item, it was a mirror which was equipped to everyone. Deku, looking at the mirror, he would see his avatar's face. But whenever he did, that was when a blinding light would have, well, appeared right in front of him. And after that light disappeared, Deku would have realized that his face is no longer the avatar's face, and is actually his real face. Deku turning to his left and seeing Bakugo's avatar transforming into Bakugo, with the man continuing saying, "Last but not least, my dear players, please continue to level up, because 3 weeks later there will be a new update. Until then, have fun." As the man, along with the screens, would have disappeared. Just as the screens disappeared, a majority of the players would start to run around in fear, them crying that they are going to die, and that they cannot survive in this game, or well, world. And while that was happening, Deku would have grabbed Bakugo by his wrist and say, "Kachan, over here." Him pulling Bakugo aside, and whenever they arrived at a less crowded place, Bakugo would have grabbed Deku's wrist and make Deku lose his grip on his own wrist. Him yelling, "Stop pulling me around, Deku. I can walk on my own." Okay, Kachan, but I need to tell you something. What do you want, Deku? I'm leaving for the second town, Kachan. Wait, there's a second town? Yeah, according to the instructions to this game, and also the introduction to this game, there should be a town northeast from this place. Okay, and you're going there because? Because 1, the monsters there are a bit stronger than the ones here. 2, at the second town, there is a blacksmith, which I can use to upgrade my weapons and armors. 3, since no matter if people believe that announcement or not, they are still going to accept quests in this town. But if I were to go to the second town, then every single quest there belongs to me and me alone. Meaning that if I go to the second town, then I am able to farm and level up at a faster pace. Oh, okay. Kachan, would you like to join me to the second town? No, I'm not. What? Why? Because I promised my other friends that I am going to meet up with them in this game. And if I'm not wrong, I think I just saw them in the crowd. So I'm not leaving this town. Oh. By the way, Deku, what happened to the boar's drops? Oh, that reminds me, I almost forgot. Deku opening his menu and going into his inventory. Him taking out a pair of gauntlets. Him extending them out towards Bakugo and saying, "Here." Bakugo being confused, saying, These gauntlets are called the boar gauntlets, Kachan. And if I'm not mistaken, then its stats should be stronger than the ones you have right now." Also, instead of increasing your attack speed by 5%, it increases it by 8%. Deku, while he's saying that, he would have walked over to Bakugo, grabbing him by his hand and giving these gauntlets to Bakugo. Him saying, "You should have them, Kachan. You need it more than I do." Uh, thanks. Oh, and here's your great sword back. Bakugo handing over the great sword that Deku gave him. Deku taking back the great sword and putting it into his inventory. Him continuing to say, "Well then, Kachan, I'm heading out now. You know where I'm going." Deku turning around and starting to walk away. But after he took one step, he would have turned back around and say, "Oh yeah, one more thing." Bakugo asking, "What?" As a message would have popped up right in front of Bakugo. It saying, "Would you like to accept the friend request from the player Deku?" As there would be two buttons, one being accept, the other being reject. Bakugo, of course, pressing the accept button. Deku saying, "Thanks, Kachan, I'm gonna go now. If you need my help, just contact me. Stay safe and stay alive." Really, Deku, you should just say that to yourself. Deku just turning around and walking away. Bakugo, after seeing Deku walk away, he would have whispered, "Don't you dare die on me, Deku." Him gripping onto those four gauntlets a bit harder as he would have equipped them. After that, Bakugo would have ran back into the crowd and tried to find his friends. Now, staying with Deku, he would have just arrived outside of the town. Him equipping his dagger and thinking, "Okay, according to the map, this way should be northeast. Right, let's go." Him just walking at a straight line and arriving inside a forest. Deku having to find some monsters roaming around. He would have started to talk to himself, saying, "Maybe I should kill the monsters I see on the way there, since not only can I get more levels and materials, I can also use these opportunities to get used to my weapons." Yeah, this seems like a good idea, but I would need to stay on high alert and be careful at all times, since this time I don't have anyone to watch my back. Deku taking out his dagger, he would start to engage those monsters one by one. Deku using those monsters as live targets, he would start to quote unquote train. As after half a day, Deku would start to realize that night is approaching. Him thinking, "Okay, I'm losing daylight. I need to make a shelter, like right now." Deku using his axe and sometimes his sword, he would start to gather some wood and leaves to create a shelter and a campfire. As while he's gathering these materials, he would have thought, "Okay, I have to make a campfire and a shelter. The campfire should be easy. Wait, how do you make a fire in this game? Please don't tell me I have to hand drill my way through. Now hold on, I have a fire attack, right? Yeah, I do have one. Well, that takes care of the campfire. As for the shelter, I think I can at least create a roof." Why do I feel hungry and cold even though there are no hunger systems or temperature systems? Why is this game so real even though it is not real life? Actually, technically speaking, this is my new life. Oh well, what matters is that I get to survive for another day. I wonder how Kachan is doing right now. Cut to Bakugo in a restaurant and punching his friend in the face. By the way, there are two of them. Now, after setting up his campfire and his shelter, Deku would have took out some consumable materials he got from killing a lot of monsters. Deku putting those edible foods over the campfire and basically cooking them. As whenever it is cooked, Deku would have realized that the food he just made gives him a 10% defense boost for 6 minutes. Deku realizing that he could get a different buff by combining different edible items together and cooking them, he would start to experiment with them. Him basically mix and matching different edible items that he has together and finding out that food doesn't only give buffs. Some food may give you more stamina and some might fill your gauges. For example, your quirk stamina gauge, or well, bar. Now, after experimenting with all of the edible items that he has, Deku would have went to bed. Well, a makeshift one that is. Him lying on it and thinking, damn, this is not cozy at all. Actually, it is spiky. Damn it, I can't sleep like this. Him just getting back up as Deku would have walked over to a tree that is right next to him. Him sitting down and pushing his back against that tree. Deku thinking, now this is nice. Him equipping his dagger and basically sleeping while being on guard. Now, we'll just time skip to the next day, with Deku waking up and getting back up onto his feet. Him having to tear down the temporary shelter he made and also put out the campfire. After this, Deku would have continued his journey towards the second town. Him also having to kill every single monster that he encounters on his way to the second town. As for Bakugo, whenever Deku left for the second town, he would have went back into the crowd and tried to find his friends, which after a few minutes he does, since he did recognize their faces, with Bakugo's friends having to just join whenever the announcement happened. They would not know a single thing about this game except that they are trapped in this game, and if they die, they will cease to exist. So, using the rest of that entire day, Bakugo would have taught both of his friends the basics of this game. Him basically telling them about the different types of weapons in this game, how to use them to the best of his knowledge, and also about the quirk system, which both of his friends were intrigued by. Them having to go to the place where they can roll for their quirk, which I'm just going to call the place the quirk shop. So whenever they arrived at the quirk shop, Bakugo's friends, without looking at the rates, they would have just pressed the use button, with both of them getting a quirk. One of them being dragon-like wings, the other one being an unnamed speed quirk, which would give the user a higher speed-related stats. as after getting their quirks, Bakugo would have took them to the weapons shop. Actually no, it's the gear shop. Them having to buy some gear and weapons, as they would have went to the forest to practice how to use their weapons. Them having to continuously train until it is about 9 p.m. With Bakugo taking his friends to the tavern, they would have basically eat dinner and find a place to sleep. As the next day at 8 a.m., Bakugo would have woke up both of his friends, him telling them that today they are going to go out for a quest, which after 15 minutes of gearing up and preparing themselves, they would have set out for that quest, which is just some killing mobs and gathering material quests. As back over with Deku, after using another half a day, he would have finally arrived at the second town. Him walking around the town and finding a fountain at the center of the second town, which looks similar to the first town. Deku walking up to the fountain and seeing two buttons appearing in front of him, one being Admire, the other being Mark on Map, which Deku pressing on the Admire button first, he would have saw the same options he saw in the first town whenever he interacted with that town's fountain, him choosing the same option as he would have gotten a full heal potion. Deku thinking, thank you. As after the dialogue ended, Deku would have walked up to the fountain again, and this time pressing on the Mark on Map button. Just as he did that, the area around the second town in the map, which is covered by darkness, would have been uncovered. Deku, after unlocking a part of the map, he would have just continued to go around the town and accepting every quest he sees, him having to accept 10 to 15 quests, as Deku would have went to the gate, which is the opposite side of the place where he came from, him leaving that gate and finding that the monsters here are a lot stronger than the ones from the first town. Or well, the monsters they are around the first town. Deku, while he is completing those quests, he would have also went to the second forest, which belongs to the second town. Basically, it is a forest that has stronger mobs. Or well, monsters. Deku, after fighting a few of those monsters there, would have realized that he is a lot weaker than he expected, meaning that he has a lot more grinding to do. Now, we'll just time skip to, let's say, 1 week later, with Deku in that week just repeating the same thing over and over again, which is wake up in the morning, go around the town and accept every single quest, go complete those quests, and then go to the second forest and farm some mobs. After farming and grinding some of the monsters there, Deku would return to the town and see if he could upgrade his weapons and his gear. Because remember, in the second town, there is a blacksmith, meaning that Deku can upgrade his weapons and his gear. After upgrading and eating lunch, Deku would just go back out to the second forest again and start grinding until it is nighttime, come back, eat dinner and go to sleep. Yep, that is all he did in that week, which is why Deku is now level 25. since before he killed that hidden boss, he was level 5. And after he killed the hidden boss, he would have leveled up to, let's say, level 10. As during this week, Deku's level would have jumped from being level 10 up to level 25. As for Bakugo, he would have been currently level 20, him being the same as Deku. After killing the hidden boss, he would have been level 10, but since he is grinding at a lower level, he wouldn't level up as fast as Deku. Speaking of Bakugo, during that week, Bakugo's friends would have chose their primary and secondary weapons. The one with the speed quirk, which I'm just going to call him, let's say, Speedy? Yeah, let's just call him Speedy. Speedy would have chose a shield and a one-handed sword for his primary. As for his secondary, he would have chose a staff. Now, the other one who has the dragon-like wings, I will call him Tsubasa. If you're wondering why, it's because this guy is actually the guy in the anime who has wings and was the one who bullied Deku when he was in preschool. So Tsubasa's primary would have been a katana, and his secondary would have been a gun. Also, I know you guys are wondering why these two has primaries and secondaries. Well, it's because 1. They just can't choose, and 2. Until they can unlock all 15 skills, they won't be able to select a class from that weapon. And because they didn't unlock all 15 skills, they cannot choose a class. Now, another thing that happened in that week is that Bakugo just unlocked 2 more skills. One being Fire Punch, the other being Quick Step. Fire Punch, just as the name sounds, enchants your hands with fire, so that you can punch your enemy with fire. As for Quick Step, it is basically a guaranteed perfect dodge. And by perfect dodge, I mean dodging out of an attack perfectly and not being damaged or even scratched. Now, Bakugo, Speedy, and Tsubasa would have been in front of a dungeon, with Tsubasa asking, "Hey, Bakugo, why are we here again?" This is the 3rd time I'm saying this, so listen closely, you winghead. We are here because of a quest, and the quest is clear this dungeon. Okay, man, chill. Next time, you better listen closely, you winghead, because I'm not going to say a 3rd time. Bakugo just opening the gate to the dungeon and saying, "Come on, let's get this over with." Him walking in with Tsubasa and Speedy right behind him. And just as they got into the dungeon, monsters would start to spawn right in front of them. Everyone getting ready as they would engage in battle. Bakugo using his explosions and his fists to kill the monsters, while Tsubasa is using his katana. As for Speedy, he would have been running around while using his shield and sword. As after killing these low-leveled monsters, Bakugo, Speedy, and Tsubasa would have continued to go deeper into the dungeon, as that was when they would have encountered a room with a chest in it. Tsubasa seeing the chest, he would yell, "Hey, look, a chest!" Him running in and trying to open that chest, but before he can even step into the room, Bakugo would have grabbed him by his collar, him saying, "Seriously, you're going to fall for this? That is definitely a trap." Speedy saying, Yep, that is a trap. It is definitely a trap. Tsubasa seeing, a trap? What do you mean it's a trap? It's just a chest. Bakugo saying, yeah, a chest inside an empty room. Of course it's not suspicious at all. Normally, chests are guarded by monsters, no matter how strong they are. But maybe this is a hidden chest. Seriously, this chest is in the middle and in a giant empty room. Do you really think this is a hidden chest? No. I thought so, you dumbass. Bakugo just walking past that room and onto the final floor. Him seeing more low-leveled monsters, which he would have easily killed. After killing all of them, that was when Speedy would have asked, Hey Tsubasa, what? How many monsters did you kill in this dungeon? 20. Why did you ask? Uh, Never mind. Who? Did you try to flex on me, man? How many did you kill? 15. Huh, weak. Hey, don't call me weak. It's just that I haven't trained enough yet. Oh no, it's not about the people behind the weapon. It's about the weapon. A katana is better than a sword and shield, you know. Oh, don't start this again. What? I'm just stating the facts. Using a katana has more utility than using a sword and shield. Even though its attack is lower than a sword, its attack speed is faster than it. Also, I can give myself buffs, but you can't. Oh really? Using a katana is better than sword and shield? Oh, don't make me laugh. I have a shield, meaning that I can block my enemies. How about you? I don't see you blocking with a katana. Also, my damage output is more consistent than you. You don't say. I can block attacks with my katana. I just don't know how to time them perfectly, that's all. Yeah, timing. Blame it on the timing. Since I equipped the shield, I can negate 25% of the damage without doing anything. I can also use parry, which can negate an additional 50% of the damage. As before, Tsubasa and Speedy can argue even more. That was when Bakugo would have just turned around and yelled, Both of you, shut up! Go collect the loot you got from killing the monsters before they despawn, you noobs. Yes sir. With both Speedy and Tsubasa going around the floor and just collecting the loot. Speedy finding a chest and opening it, he would have found a pair of gauntlets. Him running back and telling Bakugo what he found. Him giving it to Bakugo asking him if he would like it. Which Bakugo, seeing that its stats are the same as the boar gauntlets, but just without the attack speed bonus, he would have told Speedy that he doesn't need it. Now, after looting every chest there, except for the trap chest, they would have left the dungeon, them having to complete the quest. As for the rest of that day, Bakugo would have spent his time in the forest farming, and also grinding levels. Since he friended Deku, he could see Deku's level. Bakugo, seeing that Deku is on level 25 and he is only on level 20, he would have started to do his best trying to catch up to Deku. Now, that will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. That will be amazing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!